Hi, SD. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. How you been doing? What's been cooking up at your end? Ah. Yeah, work. It never ends, does it? I know where you're coming from. I'm in the shop today, and it's time for me to restock my homemade fire starters. So I got my stove going here. I'm gonna melt some wax and make a big batch of fire starters. It's pissing rain outside, so might as well go in the shop and do something. You know what that's like. It's a little bit cold. I can see my breath here today. All our snow's gone. It's been raining all week, and we've had an unseasonably warm winter this year, and not a whole lot of snow. And the little bit of snow that we have, it's pretty much all gone. It's raining. It's going to be raining for the next few days. The ground is frozen, but it's raining, so we don't have any more snow. The lakes and rivers are not safe to be out on. I think everybody's in the same boat with the temperature. We are having an El Nino winter. So I'm pretty sure you got some warm weather too. Yeah. Yeah. In January, we had a massive thaw in January, like absolutely crazy warm temperatures. It lasted for about a week, and then things got a little bit colder after that, but it never recovered to a normal winter. All right, I'm ready for my first batch of fire starters. The first batch I'm gonna make the old dryer lint kind is the first one I'm gonna start with here. Hang on one second, I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. All right, I'm off to a good start here. How's your arm, SD? Been a while since I've touched base with you. Hi, Lexi. the egg carton trick with the wax. And then I'm going to make another batch where I use chaga. I also make fire starters using chaga, and I'm going to be making some out of that as well today. Right now it's the good old wax with dryer lint. The wax and dryer lint stuff is for camp. I leave it over at deer camp, and then I make some smaller ones that I put in my packs and whatever for when I go camping. And I'll be I got some cotton pads, and I'll be making the chaga style. Oh wow. Sounds like it's going to be a long process for you to heal up, my friend. How you managing on the farm with all your animals with a bummed up arm? You obviously you're managing okay, but you got some help going on with you. Yeah, the lifting is certainly going to be an issue. I had to nurse my shoulder as well over the winter, like late last year, like I'm gonna say in November. I started getting a crunching in my shoulder, and I'm glad it was paddle season was over, because it lasted for about 2 months where every time I moved my arm, my shoulder would crunch, and yeah, it was brutal. But I've been nursing it all winter for the next paddle season coming up, and I feel good there now. I think I had just pulled a muscle or something, but I do have arthritis in my shoulders a little bit, so I think that might have been like part of what it was. All right, who else do we have? Okay, we got 4 viewers. Thanks for coming along, guys. Those are just coming along. I'm making some fire starters. My first batch is done. This is dryer lint. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit more wax in here. Say hi, everybody. We're in the shop and we're doing some fire starters, homemade fire starters, and I'm going with both paraffin wax and beeswax and the old dryer lint trick. And then after that, I'm going to do a batch where I'm going to be using some chaga, because chaga is very flammable, and I like using chaga to make fire starters. It works really well. I gotta relight my stove. Hey Steve, how's it going, buddy? Are you in the shop as well? I'm in the shop doing some fire starters. Awesome. Yeah, he's gonna come up next, SD. I got a jar of chaga. I harvested a shitload of chaga a couple of years back. I got an entire case of it. I like to go more paraffin than beeswax with the chaga. The paraffin I find is a little bit more volatile, shall we say. What's on the agenda for tomorrow morning's video there, Steve? You know what? I get the wax from like hobby shops, like Michael's, places like that. You can order it online too, obviously, but places where you can buy supplies for crafts, they sell wax. Sometimes you get at dollar stores as well. Hi, EC, how you doing, buddy? I saw you got something going on YouTube. I didn't watch it yet, but I saw it on there. Glad you can make it here today. In the shop doing some fire starters. A milk crate into an engine stand. I'm guessing that engine's not overly big. But that's a good idea. I like that idea. I like it when you repurpose things in the shop. All right, well, you're in luck there, EC, because today I'm doing chaga fire starters. And I'm pretty sure nobody else does that. I got a video on it somewhere in my playlist. There's a video on how I make my chaga fire starter, and I'm gonna make some today. And I'm gonna be using some little cotton pads, and I got a little tray as well. I'm gonna make some of these. There's some from the last batch here. Sometimes I put a wick on it. And my mix is basically a 50% wax and about 50% chaga. So I put some chaga in my pan with some wax. I'm just gonna mix it. It has a reaction. When you put the chaga in, it has a reaction. Yeah, Steve, all our snow's gone. Everything, it's all gone. It's raining right now, as you know, right? It's raining throughout the province. They're calling for a big major storm, but it's going to be bypassing Sudbury. It's going to be going around us. Both rain and snow, but it's going to bypass us. We got nothing left here. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? We all know sticks work, but sticks can break, SD. Yeah, my chaga, I have some chaga that I keep in bigger chunks, but most of my chaga I grind it down to like I'm gonna say coarse coffee, like about as coarse as you would use coffee in a percolator. That's about how coarse I make my chaga. I got my wax, it's too hot. I gotta wait for it to cool down. So I got about 1/4 of a jar in there now. And I just keep mixing it up till I get like a paste here. Yeah. Well, you know what? When you're trying to hurry up to set up camp, if it's raining or it's windy, it may sound crazy, but having to chase down the stick, it actually just doesn't help, because if you need to get it done now, when you have to look for something, you know how it is. You get flustered and you're looking for something, you just can't see it. Everybody can think, oh yeah, well, sticks are all over the forest floor. Well, they are, but when you're in a hurry to get something done, the last thing you want to do is chase after that right size thickness of stick, right? So yeah, having something pre-made always is a good idea. I should have brought a spoon out here, but I didn't bring one. Oh well. There's my concoction. My wax to chaga ratio is not good enough yet. What are you doing? What are you eating? Yeah. PEX pipe. You know what? We all have junk laying around that we can always utilize, right? Don't ever throw out anything. How's everybody doing today on the live stream? I'm trying this live stream. It's right, as you guys know, YouTube, well, they've been pushing all kinds of new stuff. So today I thought I'd try to live stream something different. I don't get to do this very often. Not too often. I'm where there's cell signal, and the garage is a good spot. I gotta watch behind me. My puppy's chewing boxes there behind me. Want to see what I got going on? Look at that. That's not chocolate. All right. And I got my little pads, cotton pads. I'm just gonna dump them in there. You know what? How about I turn the phone so you guys can see what I'm doing here? You know what, Steve? I'm not a big fan, but as you know, YouTube wants it, right? And as far as the shorts are concerned, you see what my shorts are. I don't go elaborate. I'm not going to go all TikTok style with that. And, you know, my shorts are just quick clips of my videos. And I'm not a big fan of them. However, it breaks up my time, because I'm sure you noticed that my shorts is go every other week. 1 week live, 1 week long form and 1 week short. And it gives a bit of an opportunity for folks that missed videos in the past. They see a short, there's a link there, and they can go look at the related video to that short. I'm not a big fan, but YouTube wants it, right? the shorts get the views. You're right. You know, for smaller channels like mine, when I make a short and I get 2,500 views in like an hour and a half, that's like a viral video for at my caliber of YouTubing, right? And the shorts does provide the opportunity for people to put my content in front of new eyes. So I like that, but I can't see myself diving into shorts, like how they provide us with all the tools that you can create a short right on your phone with imaging and music and all this kind of like TikTok style, right? I'll never do that. I know I won't ever do that. I think I'm gonna have to add some more wax to my mix. I never done the Chaga fire starters using the little pads like this, but this is the first time I'm trying it, so it's a little bit of a test run here. Yeah, you're right. You see, you know, it's hard, and you know what, Steve? I gotta give you a thumbs up for that, Steve. You produce a video every Sunday, and so do I. But I cheat because every 2 weeks it's a short, so it's an easy way for me to transition from one video to the next. Throw a short in between. That keeps that ball rolling. And you know, I don't know if anybody's ever told you that, Steve, but you're doing great because you always consistently a new video every Sunday without using shorts. You're pretty good. You're pretty on top of things with that. Yeah, I'm monetized. I'm getting close to 2,000 there now, SD. I'm sitting at high 1800s. I'm hoping to hit my 2,000, I'm going to say within the next month, hopefully. So far, my analytics, Steve, are showing that everybody that watches my long form is watching my short form. And, but I'm getting a lot of newcomers coming to the channel through the shorts. But yeah, like a big shout out to everybody who watches my content. People who watch my long form are watching my short form as well. Yeah, you know, I struggled as well, and you see, if to get the content out, and then I just the tactic. I'm gonna call it a tactic. What I've been doing is, if I go out in the bush and do something, instead of making my, say, an overnight camping in the bush one video, I'll break it down into multiple videos. So I can do like a camp out video, and then from that outing, I might, say for example, do the cooking over the campfire will be a separate video. It's all the same outing, but I'm gonna separate that. So it's a separate cooking video. Or if I do like if I do a lot of fishing and I'm catching tons of fish, I may make a separate fishing video. So out of one outing in the bush, when I go camping out, sometimes I'm lucky and I'm gonna pull 3 separate videos out of that one overnight outing because I split it up. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I incorporate it all in one. I try to stay away from making extra long videos because it's been my experience from my channel that extra long videos, like an hour-long video, not too many people are okay with watching me for an hour straight, so that makes sense. It doesn't always work out though. Doesn't always work out, but when it does, it's good. When it's good, it's good. I just find it confusing what to present to YouTube. You know, some people say, "Oh, videos are too long; people lose interest." And then, but then you see channels that put out videos that are hours long, and they're doing great with it and all that. So it's a strange animal, that YouTube thing. Hey Tim, how's it going? You know what, SD? Most of us are just like you, self-taught, right? We're learning as we're going, and as far as editing is concerned, yeah, I'm learning all the time, just like the rest of us. Okay, you're at work, eh, Tim? Most people go hide in the shitter and go watch their stuff in the bathroom. If you have to leave, Tim, you do what you got to do. Thanks for stopping in and say hi. Okay, you know what, guys? Let me show you. There's the one fire starter, right? From the first batch I threw in the pan, they're starting to solidify. Bloopers, yeah. You know what? I'm enough of a blooper as it is, so I'm not going to go there too much. You know, I forgot how tedious work this is doing these, doing fire starters. Yeah, you know what? It's rare for me to do something all in the original state. I always have to go back and cut and chop and splice and all that shit. Earlier I was dumping a pile of chaga in there and I ended up putting too much. I have to add more wax to this mix because now my mix is not watery enough. Oh yeah, okay. You know what? I'm due for a new phone, so I'm gonna look for the options, right? And my phone is old. I got an iPhone 10, so I gotta upgrade my gear here. My day job, oh yeah, well, I work at the city garage, right? Specifically, I work in the transit department, so I work on city transit buses. And it's shift work, right? I'm a shift worker. All right, I need to put some more little pads in here. Hi Andrew, how you doing? You know what, my chaga, you just gotta look for it. It's in the bush. Go look for that birch tree and keep an eye out. You know, I'm always keeping an eye out. Not so much anymore because I got a really big stock right now, but I'm always on the lookout. You just keep your eye out, and then you finally get involved in it, and you kind of pick it out through the forest sometimes. Sometimes you're lucky, you get a big score, and you don't have to harvest very much. One harvest can last you years. That's what happened to me. I found some chaga on my property. Like, I'm talking 4 years ago, I harvested like 4 pounds of chaga. and I put it all in. I vacuum sealed it after processing. I vacuum sealed it in mason jars, and keeps forever. Yellow birch and white birch will have the chaga. Everything else, you're wasting your time looking for it. Wow, we have quite a bit of birch out here in the north. Birch bark, the best fire starter in the world, right? Birch bark. But if you guys want to see more chaga, I do have a video on making chaga fire starter somewhere. Well, I vacuum seal mine because I get the moisture out. Once I'm done grinding my chaga, I usually warm it up in a frying pan a little bit just to get the moisture out, and then I vacuum seal it just to prevent the chaga from going moldy. Because if you jar it up and there's moisture in there, your chaga can have, funny as it sounds, a mushroom can have mushroom growing on it. So that's why I vacuum seal it. That way there, you know, you're sure that your chaga is good. You can open that jar 10 years from now and you know you got good chaga to go. Yeah, you know what? I heat up my shop with a buddy heater. I got a big buddy, and that's all I use. Because I'm not in the shop all the time, and when I'm in the shop, it's just like an afternoon at a time or whatever. So I never bothered to put a furnace in here. I got my buddy heater. I turn that on, depending how cold it is. I'll turn it on maybe an hour before I come in, and obviously, depending on the temperature outside, I'll turn it off after a couple hours. My shop is pretty small, so it doesn't take a whole lot to warm it up. Yeah, you know what? You must be hearing him. Come here. Come here. There's Riley. Puppy's getting big. He's pretty much fully grown there now. He's pretty much at the full size that he's gonna get. So Riley's doing great. I got Lexi over here too. That's why they're grumbling and play fighting behind me here in the garage. Yeah, Riley. No, I don't have nothing for you. He's a little shit, by the way. Yeah, I know. The ears are giving, you know what? It's for Riley, it's the eyes. Everybody notices his eyes. I get so many people that make the comment that my dog has people like human eyes, and they love the way he looks. Yeah, he gets noticed everywhere I go, put it that way, that's for sure. He's a little shit disturber, but he's a good boy. He's jumping on me right now. I think he thinks I'm cooking something and he's gonna get some food. No, Riley, you stay down. This is, you're gonna get burnt. What kind of dog? No, he's not a golden retriever. He's a Cocker Spaniel. He's almost fully grown right now. What I just showed you in my arms, that's the size he's gonna be. He's about 30 pounds. And he's a purebred American Cocker Spaniel. So he's not going to get any bigger than what you see now. You know what? I pretty much stopped moose hunting. I moose hunted my whole life, and in the past, I'm gonna say 4 years, I haven't moose hunted. Not actively. I'm still applying for tags, although I didn't apply last year. And last year was the first time I haven't applied for a moose tag in probably 35 years. The moose hunt thing is so difficult nowadays to get a tag, and the point system is really weird to me. And the other problem with moose hunting is it's always better with a group, right? And it's hard to put together a group, and a group that's going to be dedicated, that's going to be there for the hunt, right? It's very, very difficult. Not everybody can take the time off to go hunting. Like, not everybody can afford to take, say, 10 days off of work to go hunting. People have wives and kids, and increasingly people, they want to go moose hunting, but the wife says, like, fuck you are. We're going to Cuba this year. You're not taking holidays for moose, right? So it makes it very difficult to put together a moose group. It really is. Yeah, I got a 410. I got it, and you'll see my 410 all the time in my videos. Actually, I carry it as a backup gun and as like a survival type of gun. I don't particularly use it for hunting because I have I got a bit of an arsenal of guns, so I got a good selection, right? So I don't particularly go for the 410. And you're right, there is a massive shortage of ammo. Yeah, if you're looking for birdshot in 410, I know here in Canada, oh my God, it's hard to come by. It's easier to buy buckshot or slugs or whatever for 410 than to find like a number 7. So I don't particularly use my 410 for hunting all too much. I use it as a backup or like a backup gun. Yeah, you know what? It's Steve. You know, the MNR is that department of the government. That government department gets no funding whatsoever, right? Those people have no money. MNR can hardly put gas in the tank, so that means they don't have the resources to do the proper moose head count in different areas. So they don't really know what the population is like. They rely on hunter reporting. And so they keep lowering the tag numbers without proper data to validate if it's a good number or not. So, and there's plenty of moose. There's tons of moose. The tags could be double, and it would not be a problem, in my opinion. Just from what I see when I go out in the bush, there's tons of moose, and they could really ramp up the tag numbers, but they won't. They just won't. It's like they want you to spend all your money on hunting and fishing, but yet you're not allowed to catch a fish and you're not allowed to shoot anything. But we want you to spend your money on that sport, though, right? That's how I feel about that. Yeah, it's the MNR thing is a thorn in my side. Target loads, really, eh? Fuck. And you know what? I made the mistake. I accidentally bought a box of target loads for my 12 gauge. I'm going to say 2 years ago. And I started hunting, and I'm putting these target loads. I never paid attention. Here I'm trying to take out grouse with target loads. And my God, if you're not like really like right there on top of them, even a target load 12 gauge has a hard time putting down a grouse. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I couldn't figure it out. I started looking at my bullets. So what the hell is going on here? And sure enough, I was shooting target loads. I couldn't wait to get through that box of shells and just get rid of it so I can move on to a proper load. Iowa has moose? Oh yeah? No kidding, eh? That seems I'm not familiar whatsoever. I know that, like, I know it's not the same area, but Vermont at one time was polluted with deer, and then suddenly for some reason it's like the deer disappeared and the moose moved in or something. But Iowa with moose, that's crazy. That's pretty cool, actually. I gotta warm up my chaga here. It's all solidifying. They look like messy tea bags. I have never done it with these little cotton pads, so I'm gonna try one later. You get straddlers, yeah, eh? You know what? It's not uncommon for a moose to show up in farmers' field with the cows. It happens here all the time. You don't have coyotes? Geez, coyotes are everywhere. I don't know if you're aware, but there's some game cam footage popping up here in Ontario for cougars. Cougars are right here in northeastern Ontario, and northwestern Ontario, around the Seal Lookout area, around Thunder Bay and that. People are catching cougars on game cams. Pretty cool. Yeah, we're, you know what, Andrew, we're the same way here. It's actually a law. You have to use steel shot for anything waterfowl here. So, yeah, same thing. I'm not a duck hunter, so I don't bother with that type of load. Anything upland bird or whatever, small game, right? Could be rabbit, whatever. Lead, and then steel shot for anything waterfowl. That's why, right? That's why they moved to like 3.5-inch magnums on 12 gauges and all that, because you had to put more punch there with that steel shot. You have to really put a wallop in that gun, right? No, there's no cougars on the island. Oh no, God no. That would get people would go crazy. But there's some footage. Cougars have always been said, oh, they don't exist in Ontario and all that. And my father saw one about 50, 40 years ago, I'm going to say. And I told that to a couple of people, and I was basically, people looked at me like I was on crack. And there's a lot of people that said there's cougars roaming around Ontario, and it was disputed. But now, with so many game cams out there, you can't dispute that picture, right? Yeah, you know what, Steve? It's depending what you have, you want to sell it really soon, because the Liberal government wants to ban all guns in Canada. So you may want to think of that, depending what it is you got in your closet there. However, the Liberal government is going to be gone in another year, and the Conservatives are going to reverse all these gun policies that Justin Trudeau has implemented. Are they coming around for your livestock, SD? Right, because they're predators. I would imagine anybody that's got livestock is going to be a target. Yeah, you know what, Andrew? That sounds like something MNR would do. Right? You lay it in front of them and they'll still deny it. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Yeah, you know what, SD? Our election is going to be not a problem. It's going to be conservative. The last time I checked the polls, the Liberal government, Justin Trudeau government, The last polls that I watched was 1% probability that he would get back into office. Literally 1%. So it's written in stone, and everybody is calling for an election, but it won't happen. That guy's got like he's a narcissist, right? So he's going to hang on to his power as long as he possibly can. Things are heating up here, guys. Watch out, Lexi. There you go, outside of Mattawa. Yeah, they're gonna move around, right? I mean, my father saw one, like I said, like I'm gonna say 40 years ago, because I was with him. I didn't see it, but he did. And it was just north of River Valley. We were on the shores of a lake called Gull Lake, north of River Valley. And we saw one on the logging road out there. Or he saw it on the logging road out there. Oh yeah, I'm guessing they don't like dogs too much, eh? I don't know. I know nothing about cougars other than it's a big fucking cat. yeah, no, what, Biden is, oh my God. Yeah, you know what, I feel bad for you too. We got Justin, you got Joe, and yeah, we all share the same sentiment, I think, eh? Oh my God. That guy's up in the clouds, man. Scary. Obviously, he's not making any decisions whatsoever. His party is telling him what to say, and he does his best to remember what he's supposed to say when the camera is in front of him. He has actually no authority whatsoever, Joe Biden. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Only one dog would make a difference, yeah. You wonder, because I've seen footage on the internet. You know, we all live on the internet, and where you see these cougars that come into small towns, and they literally attack a sleeping dog right on the porch. You know, it's just like, wow, that's disheartening. Really, I'm a dog guy. Obviously, you guys know that. So it's disheartening for me to see that. I really hate seeing that. She pulled it because her shoulder was bummed, eh? Yeah, Trudeau has too much authority, but his authority is dwindling. He's grasping at straws right now. It literally, his time is done. We just have to suffer through it for probably another year. And then things can start moving back to normal pace here in Canada. Oh yeah, man in the woods. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Did you catch any brookies this winter? I haven't seen you putting out any material. I'm guessing you're laying low a little bit there. Yeah, you know what? The truckers convoy thing is still ongoing. There's massive amounts of lawsuits that are rolling out concerning that. It's going to be very interesting in the future. And you know what? I'm telling you all right now. In the future, there will be movies made about the Justin Trudeau era. This guy's so out to lunch. There will be movies made about his corruption and what he's done to this country, and yeah, guaranteed. All right, Steve, I'll see you. I'll be having coffee with you tomorrow morning, buddy. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, my pan of chaga is almost used up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What better movie can you have than some politician that gets caught with scandals over scandals over scandals? All right. Hey, let's test one of these babies out. You get a lighter here. Riley, what are you doing? No, Riley. Riley's behind me making a mess, chewing boxes. All right, let's fire up a fire starter. I'm using, it's a cotton pad. It's 100% pure cotton. And this would be like let's say you're, you have to check your blood sugar and you poke your finger and you know, something like that. You use a sterilized cotton pad. That's basically what that is. Riley, hey, stop that. All right, so there's my cotton pad full of paraffin wax. I'm going to try to fluff it up a little bit here. Hang on, I got to have something to put it in to burn. I got a little jar. I should be using a ferro rod, but I don't have one with me, but we'll see what that happens here. This might be a fail, you never know. If it doesn't work good enough, then I'll do it with some more paraffin. This one here, I believe, is beeswax. There we go. This one goes there now. I've never done it with the cotton, so it's a first for me. It's actually not burning as good as I thought it was going to. But my experience with the chaga is once the chaga is lit, chaga is very hard to put out. Hey, you stop that. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? All of these lighters, I always pop it. And then you got the wheel, and you can take the tab and you can spin it around and re-grab the wheel, the adjusting wheel, then you can crank it. I do this to all of my my cheap lighters. You can't do that with a Bic. The maple syrup, of course. The maple syrup is on, eh? Yeah, especially this year, being that it's so early. We have such an early spring. Okay, guys. She's burning and burning and burning. I'm going to try to go for some rookies too this year. See how that works out for me. I'm going to try to get out there. Well, I will be getting out there, but I want to try to get out there specifically for brookies. And what I want to do too is do for early season pike. Go nail the pike when they're spawning. You know what? It's burning and burning and burning really well. But I'm going to have to test it with a ferro rod. I may not have ruffled it up enough to get the fibers out. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some testing with this yet before I toot my horn on how great this is. But hey, that's what it's all about, right? If you don't do it, you don't know. She's still burning. When I started making the fire starters with chaga, I was doing my mix of 50% chaga, 50% paraffin wax, and I was putting it in these little paper cups that you would use for like similar to a cupcake, but really, really small ones. Like I'm gonna say like the size of a loonie. And when I tested it out, that chaga fire starter would burn for 15 minutes. A little tiny puck the size of a loonie or a silver dollar. Hey, thanks for coming out, SD. Glad you stopped in and said hi. It was good talking to you. I haven't seen you in a long time. You take care. You keep nursing that arm, okay, buddy? My little mason jar is getting really hot, so I'm gonna look at that. That's burning and burning and burning. Once it's lit, that chaga, watch out, man. Once it's lit, and you can't put it out, I can snuff it out. Actually, I should snuff it out. I'd like to let it burn to see how long it takes, but I didn't time it. I'll just snuff it out. Whoo! Smoking up the shop. Hang on, let me get this jar out of here. Ed, how you doing, buddy? You coming in just as I'm burning down the shop? Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I've been busy doing some fire starters. All right, let me close that door. It's getting cold. Yeah, well, no, he knows me better than that. Besides, it's legal in Canada, so we can, all these guys are going around and smoking, they can all have it. I don't care for it myself. So it's funny. If my neighbor actually sees any kind of action going on in my garage, then he usually goes into his garage, which is right next to mine, and he starts farting around with stuff, and then he does the big cry for help, right? He likes to have other people figure out his problems for him. That's usually the way he works. So what are you up to today, Ed? Hang on here, I gotta relight my stove. All right, so you missed out on the first batch. I did a batch of the old dryer lint fire starters. Then I did the Chaga fire starters, and I still got a little bit left in my pan, Ed. That's what you've been missing out on. Uh-oh. Is it wet outside? Maybe your GFIs are getting triggered by damp weather? Are you off grid with that camp? Is that like a generator setup that you have? Are you on the grid? Yeah, man, Chaga burns. Not only does it burn, but once you light it, it's almost impossible to put it out. You'll smolder forever and ever and ever. So I got another kit, another pile here prepared for some other Chaga fire starters. These ones are going to have wicks on them. Okay, hang on here. It's time for me to do a pour. Man, this stuff is messy. Oh yeah, wintergreen. That's nice stuff, eh? It's such a nice flavor, a mild flavor. It just really works. Yeah, wintergreen, nice stuff. Better than spruce boughs, I tell you that. All these people that do your teas with spruce boughs, I don't get that. Spruce boughs taste to me, it is like, I don't know, it's just so bitter. I don't know what people see in that stuff. You know what? I've been seeing a lot of links as well. Right now, from my observation, in the last, I'm going to say 4 years, 5 years, the grouse and the rabbit population is really high. Really, really high. And that's what happens when you got a high population of grouse and rabbit, because rabbit is like the bottom of the food chain. And when you got a good population of rabbits and grouse, you're going to have a good population of lynx, a good population of fox. You'll also get a good population of pine marten. And I've been seeing a lot of lynx, and I've been seeing a lot of pine marten as well. No, I've never fished Mesomacenda. I know of it. I've been there. and there's a lot of camps on there. It's a little bit too populated for me. I like to be a little bit more removed. And Missile-Makenda has seen a lot of fishing pressure because it's such an easy access lake, and there's a lot of camps on that lake. So yeah, I've never fished it. I've never fished it. I like to hang out where nobody wants to hang out. I had a camp in that area, by the way. If you're familiar with Westry, my wife and I built a camp in Westry in 2000. In 2000, yeah, the millennial year, we built a camp in Westry. And I had that camp for 16 years. 16 years, then we gave it up. So do you have a camp? Is your camp on Missile-Makenda? Is that where your electrical problem is, Ed? You're out there on Missile-Makenda? You know what, Andrew? I believe the cycle is 7 years, 5 years. I kind of remember reading that somewhere, probably like a Field and Stream magazine kind of stuff years ago. Of 7 year is good, then you get a 5 year stretch where it's bad, and it fluctuates like that. I don't know how much truth there is in that. Yeah, I'm not knocking like popular lakes and like fishing from a boat, whatever, right? At one point, I had 3 boats, and I love my fishing. But I personally got tired, and I'm a big troller. My wife and I, we spent insane amount of hours trolling, and I just got tired of that shaking tiller handle, brah, 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 all day long, and that smoke, and yeah, fighting with people at the boat launch, waiting for half an hour for some dumbass to figure out how to put his boat on the trailer so you can go in and launch yours. And so I kind of tend to go where nobody goes. I kind of went that way in recent years. Well, recent years, put it this way, went that way kind of like when I started YouTubing. That's when I went that way. Okay. Do you go there in the winter time over at Missile-Makenda? Yeah, you know what? We came to an impasse at one point, and my wife and I wanted a new boat, and the new one would have to be 4-stroke. And then she wanted to keep the boat. She loved the boat. She kind of like, I don't know, she's got memories kind of thing. And I looked into buying a 4-stroke, get rid of the 2-stroke. But by that time, you know what? My wife wasn't going out as much. It was mostly me. And for the amount of outings I do with the boat, we decided to just abandon the idea. And I mean, you're looking at 10 grand for a 4-stroke, like just a 25 horse Yamaha 4-stroke, right? It's like 10 grand. It's like crazy. So I was like, you know what? For the 3 times a year that I'm going to pull the boat from behind the garage, I said, the hell with it. And I'm just keeping my rig the way it is. Well, it's pretty early spring right now. It's still winter officially. Spring is not on for, what is it, another, I'm going to say 11 days. I could be wrong on that before it's officially spring. And I do have a trip planned. I'm going to go to Secret Lake, guys. That's where I'm going. My first trip out, I think my first trip out fishing is I'm going to go to Secret Lake. I want to see if I can target some big pike in the spawn, right? Because they spawn in the early spring and they spawn in the shallows. And I wouldn't mind trying to latch onto some big pike and yeah, do a camp out Secret Lake all over again. Actually, speaking of Secret Lake, not tomorrow, but next Sunday is going to be a Secret Lake video that I did when I last time I went to Secret Lake last summer. I got a video on it, and it's going to be at Secret Lake next Sunday. Yeah, you know what? Swamping a canoe, swamping a boat is terrible. I swamped my boat one time. I was camped out on, I was fishing on Obabica Lake north of River Valley, and I knew of a good campsite out there. And I went out with all my gear, and it was me and my brother, I believe. We went out for the weekend, and the winds picked up overnight, and my boat was wedged in the rocks on the shore in the point, and the waves were coming in, and my transom is cut down a little bit low, a little bit too low, really, and waves started coming in. Woke up in the morning, and the boat was swamped, and it was brutal because I had a padlock, I had a cable lock on my motor. The key for the stupid lock was back at the truck, and I'm camped out on a lake. I had to jump in that lake and unscrew the screws on the motor, and I had to stand in the water like past my waist and bear hug a 20 horsepower motor in the air over the water, so to try to get the boat to float a little bit more. So then, and I had to stand there at the end of the cable holding the motor in my arms while my brother was bailing as fast as he could with a bucket to try to get the boat to float up. And that's how we ended up doing it. We managed to get it out, but it just by the skin of our teeth. I stood, and that's a lake trout lake. It's frigid water. And I stood in that lake, I bet you, an hour with a 20 horse Yamaha bear hug on my chest, holding it up. Yeah, that wasn't cool. Not cool. What are we doing for time here? 2 o'clock. What are you gonna do? Sometimes you can't predict stuff, right? You can try all you want, but sometimes shit happens, and when it does, you just got to be prepared for it and know how to handle it. Well, actually, my last video where I did a hot 10 on the lake, and the water came up on top of the ice. As you know, the whole lake was turned to slush. I'm camped in the middle of it. That's a good example. You can't predict that, and you just gotta know what to do when shit hits the fan. You have to have a level head and be able to make the right decision and make the right call on what you're gonna do next. And the key really is don't panic, right? Don't panic. Just run with it. All right. Having that said, Ed and everybody else watching, thanks for coming along. It's 2 o'clock. I have to get going. I have to get back in the house. My fire starters are all done. I'll be doing some testing on that. I'm planning to go to camp next week. I'm planning to go to deer camp. So I'm going to probably mess around with my Chaga fire starters over there and do some testing and see how it works with a ferro rod and all this kind of stuff. So guys, thanks a lot. I'm going to sign off. I'll catch you back at the channel. Right on. Chat with you guys later. Take care. I'll see you back at YouTube.